And here we go live again. Let's just jump right into the chart. Not that one, this one. Bitcoin is breaking as we speak. And so let's jump into our indicators and see what's going on with the volume first of all. I'm gonna close. Oh, I have the window is open right now. Let me mute myself. All right, so let's zoom in on the point to see what's going on. Because I am expecting, maybe I'm completely be wrong, that the big guys are going to push the markets down, get everybody FOMO short, and then they're going to drive it through the roof, which is completely, rationalizing what we're seeing in the charts. Whereas the trading pattern clearly says the area has been broken. This is a clear 1, 2, 3 formation break happening right now. We can see that prices are immediately bouncing back up. So it just plays into my theory. And I think everybody who trades these ranges or is holding in these ranges or anything going on while prices are making such an extreme sharp move is difficult. Now, if you had played short earlier, this may be time to take your profit. And there's no way to know what'll happen next, except that it has broken these 1, 2, 3 formations. And here's some buying volume that was going on here. Just before the break. So I just finished doing a video that went through all the details, and I was really looking for a bullish scenario. I'm really set my bullish bias on it as I was looking through the charts. So now that we have this break, and it is, well, it's not clearly here below the 1, 2, 3 formation yet. 1, 2, 3. This is the, and it still can be stretched into a trend line here that it's holding. So this move isn't yet catastrophic at these levels. Let's see if the 4-hour time frame has crossed over. Not yet. So we don't have the EMA cross over the 4-hour time frame yet. Now I want to go back to the other indicators. For example, the relative strength index. I have too many things open. I'm going to have to sacrifice. Oh, that was probably the wrong one. Let me close a bunch of things over here. And now back to Bitcoin. And the alts absolutely blasting off, opposite to what I was calling for. But exactly what one of the members in our community chat was talking about in Discord. So he's been painting the picture of Bitcoin dropping and the alts taking off, and that Bitcoin dominance is going to be dropping sharply. Let's zoom in on this. And I've been saying pretty much the opposite, saying that Bitcoin is about to go to the moon through this big blow off top, and that the alts are going to suffer. They're going to be pushed right back down. So if you haven't already, be sure to join our Discord chat down in the links below so that you can be in on these conversations, because he has a really good case for what actually happened here. And now here, just as we were talking about it earlier, saying that if this RSI breaks these levels, it's going to be a really key bearish turn. And so it has broken some important 1, 2, 3s here. We have a double top, exactly as called in our Discord chat and not by me. Trituto is our oracle who called it exactly to the moment where this top was going to be. Called it again here. He's been talking about it all the way along. Nailed it. Now what's going to happen next? Is this going to be just one of these hammer reversals? If it is, I'm going to be very happy. But if it isn't, then we should see this starting to pull back and start to break and break and break significant levels, because we've broken this level, we've broken this level. And as we are bouncing here now, we can skewered it. That's okay. We've done that a few times. That's what the hammer reversal is. But if this candle gets filled back in and prices continue to slide back from here, we're ready for some short trades here for sure. So let me change some time frames here in the relative strength index, because it's this trend line that has been the whole support of this building up and going up, that this trend line will hold its place and build up from there. So let's go to the daily view and see what's going on with that. The short-term time frames will oscillate more than the long-term time frames. So as we are, it's not a very nice divergence. We had a nice divergence back here as we hit this low. We haven't had that divergence yet. In fact, we need to start to see the higher highs. We need to see this break and do a move up to the upside here. We need to see that RSI do that break to the upside, or we are definitely going down. So let me zoom in on this. Got to change and double click. Zoom in on the specific levels. Clear this off and put in a line. I'm going to pause you guys. All right, back online. Well, I would have to say that the bounce is pretty much failed. This went bleh. Like it didn't bounce and get rejected as a hammer reversal should, right? This just sort of flat pancake, no bounce to it at all. Yet, always, you never know what's coming next. However, we can see the momentum changing here in the alts. If I spread this out a little bit, go to the 5-minute view. Let me know where in the world are you from? It is 7:30 in the morning here in Central Time, Canada, United States. And right now it's looking like Ethereum is trending upwards. This is an ascending wedge triangle, another sitting on top of another ascending wedge triangle, while Bitcoin is dropping off and Bitcoin dominance is sliding past key levels. Clearly, it didn't give me the bounce that I was expecting. I was anticipating Bitcoin was going to bounce up, that the alts would get crushed once again. And we'll bring this one up. Holland, 14:30, so it's 2:30 in the afternoon. And so the only way this can do anything is to see some on balance volume coming in here to save the day. But by the way it came down, went flat and just laid there, and the alts building steam, it seems suspect to me that Bitcoin is not going to hold these levels, or at least there's going to be some additional spankings for everybody. So what I'm looking at here is ADA over the 12-hour time frame. And if you have gone over to the website and you have signed up for this complete practical cryptocurrency plan for beginners, then I don't have to explain to you that the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation is a combination of 3 factors that you will learn from that webinar that we are looking for. Grab the indicator, a break of the downtrend line. And this is a subjective place that you could draw this trend line in so many different ways, but pretty much this has broken the downtrend line. However, we can see that it broke the downtrend line here before. This was a satisfactory break of the downtrend line. So was this a break of the downtrend line. So was this a break of the downtrend line. All of them were legitimate breaks of the downtrend line. And then we have the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation going up a little bit with Bitcoin there until April the 1st. Everything got hammered down into this descending circle. You see the anti-parabola going on here, right? It's the reverse of a parabola. So for me, this is the most significant, except for this one was looking pretty good too. The reverse of the parabola going on here, this really nice setup. Oh my, it was just huge. And then faded off again down to the next level down. I don't know if Bitcoin is done going up yet, but this is giving us the potential 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 12-hour time frame. We have a double bottom here, easing off as this is making another 1, 2, 3. So this actually sets up to be what I call a springboard pattern of the 1, 2, 3 bottom. We've got the number 1 point, we've got the number 2 point, we've got the number 3 point, and the springboard is setting up. I was anticipating that Bitcoin was going to break higher from here and push everything back to retest these number 1, 2, 3s again, especially if we start moving and looking at the other alts. They're all setting up in the same format, but now with Bitcoin breaking down and the alts breaking up this one little bit, that is a similar moment to what we saw on April the 1st. And it certainly was not clear what was going to happen after April the 1st. Not on these first few days. This was a big notice to the market something was changing. And this is proving out to be, this is the kind of thing I'm looking for as the big notice, the 1, 2, 3 top formation in Bitcoin dominance. As it breaks these levels and continues down, this tells me that the alts are going to be bouncing up. This is their bottom formation unfolding. When Japan, good to see you here, 9:30 p.m. So then there's, 17 people it says right now. Another 2:30 in the afternoon from Jay Constant in Grun. I will have to, admittedly, I am geographically not well educated, so I'll have to search what Grun is, where that is, check that out. But if it's at 2:30 in the afternoon, you must be near Poland and Holland, at least in that geography. Now, back to Bitcoin. Because the more I'm looking at the alts, the more, of course, this is looking like a sell signal in a top formation. And the trouble that I'm having with this is that the same trouble I've had before. In this very same type of formation, it looks like doom every time prices are coming down here. Every time it looks like that's it. That's going to break down below. It's the end. It's the end. And then it resets and gives us another bottom. And I've seen this happen before. It's happened to me before. What has happened before is that I mistook this top formation. I thought it was a top formation. I prepared everything for a top formation, and then it blasted off. And it was an ascending triangle, is an ascending focus to it. This doesn't have all of the triangle compartments to it yet. And that break is key. That's a 1, 2, 3 formation there. You can put your Fibonacci's anywhere. You can put your trend lines anywhere. You can change your moving averages to be anywhere in the chart. But a 1, 2, 3 formation is unmistakable. You can't argue against it. As soon as it's breaking those 1, 2, 3s, it's breaking nested 1, 2, 3s. We have a 1, 2, 3 here, broken. We have a larger 1, 2, 3 here, now broken and not rejected right away. So we can rationalize that we are still not down here. I mean, we got all this stuff, but that has made a big change here. And I want to now scribble this out in our indicators. Let's start with the short-term time frame. And see, this is super oversold on the 5-minute. How oversold on the 15-minute? Pretty extremely oversold. Only in these last times when we had a big reversal did it get this oversold. Let's zoom in on this big reversal and see how long this took. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 15-minute candles. So this took an hour for it to change. And this is what happened with the RSI as it changed. It's nice and recent, so we can actually pull it up. That's awesome. Now let's draw this back. I meant to leave that drawn on there actually. And draw this back. So that took an hour and a bit for that to play out. Let's zoom in on this one. We have had 30 minutes in these candles from this super oversold territory. Extreme. So we'll watch this, I guess, in the next hour to see how this plays out. And this is reaching for rationalizations, trying to find something in the past that was this extreme. Oops. Let's go to the 1-minute view. Actually, I like this chart better. The multicoincharts.com. When I expand this out and we're looking at the 1-minute chart view, it's a more clean, clear setup. When I'm watching the 1-minute charts, I revert to this one. And then it's also handy to have the 1-minute chart in all 4 of these so that you can see what's going on with Bitcoin dominance sort of at the same time. So if Bitcoin is going to bump up from here and these are breaking, we get the first news watching it here. Even though everybody's all thinking Bitcoin is breaking, these are all taking off, I'm still not been proven correct in my theory. And I'm kind of like a puppy dog with a bone. I don't want to let go. So we'll come back to this 1-minute chart, but now I still want to go through and document the indicator set. Beautiful to see this super oversold territory, because that's what set me back to think this might take an hour and a half before it starts to build back up from here. Now, if we go on, how oversold is this on the 1-hour time frame? Pretty extreme. Only at these bounces have we been down to that extreme in the oversold territory. Really blasted right back fast here. Pretty extreme, but not the most. We've seen worse. And it started out bad and then it got worse after a little bit here. So if I zoom in on this moment, which may be similar, we did have that 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and the RSI did go to these wicked over extremes here. What's the date on this? That is the 13th of August. So we have to look at the 13th of August with the other indicators, because that will give us some inside knowledge if this is going to bounce and come higher as we're watching these RSIs unfold now. And every tick that it does is an important one. Or there's a nice green tick. I like those better from the position that I've taken. All right. How oversold is this? Not that bad, but it did break our trend line rather solidly. I was like, oh, this trend line, if it ticks up from here, we're good to go. If it breaks down, we're going down. Well, it's broken down pretty solid. Pretty solid break here, pretty solid break there, pretty solid break there. But we are in the middle, but if this breaks down below those levels each time here, we're seeing that prices go down. As RSI breaks below these levels, prices are going down. So as RSI is breaking these levels, it's not a good thing, especially as we're coming off of these tops. It has, if you cut the trend line, it has broken through that. So just observing what's going on with that. If it gives us a bounce now, what's in the 4-hour time frame? So on the 1-hour time frame and the shorter time frames, we should see that bounce sooner, and then we should see it pulling up in the 4-hour time frame if we're going to see it. 12-hour time frame, clear that off so we can see it also has broken that trend line I was watching. The trend line broke the trend line, broke the trend line, and then down we go after that broken trend line. How are we for center areas? What does this do for us? Bouncing off of that would be bullish all the way along. If it bounced off of that, it's been very bullish. That's the start of our bull move, bouncing up off of this level. So a test here could save the bulls, but pretty sketchy now. 1-day view still holding itself a little bit depending on how I cut that trend line. Let me clear this off, zoom in, draw it again. So if I draw it this way, it's already failed. And it's holding above these levels. So let's zoom that back out and take a look how that compares to prices. And what about that August the 13th day? August the 13th. So the RSI broke the trend line as it has here, and then it continued down on this day. As it broke the trend line, the RSI continued down and it bounced very close to where we are now. So on these longer time frames, it's easing off, but it still's got some room to hold us. Not good, not good. On the 5-year, the weekly view, this is still holding what I've been calling for the longest time. Once the RSI got down to these levels, that was the last time we got down to these levels. It went on a massive uptrend, and I was calling for this to come back and calling for it to come back for quite a while and touch this trend line for us to build structure. So we could still be building that structure. Maybe the close time frame will tell us that. Not really. Not really. Not failed, not doing good. This coming up and easing back is not good. Not good for the bulls. And that'll be good for all of the altcoins. Not seeing them blasting off right now. they're easing back on these 1-minute charts. We'll come back and take a look at these in a second as Bitcoin is deciding what's going on next. In the meantime, let's continue on. I'm taking my long time through this, but let's do it. Start off with the 5-year view. So the on-balance volume, it's not going to be important until we get into the close range views here. So we are seeing a series of dumpage that were preceding the fail. This was a significant volume of dumpage. 1-minute view. What I was wanting to see is that this move here was a bunch of dumping immediately, but then soaked up with buying. But I don't see that. I see two swaths of heavy dumping, and then the market goes quiet. Now we're seeing a bunch of more heavy dumping here, and the market is fading deeper still. So if we go to our 4 charts, with Bitcoin fading, is Litecoin and the rest of them going to blast higher from this point? We'll come back and check this out. Let's go back to our indicators. I want to see more about the volume of this dump compared to everything else. So we do have a couple of really good hits of selling volume, accelerating selling volume as this is breaking lower. Yeah, almost every YouTuber thinks or thought, me too. I really thought Bitcoin was going to be breaking higher from here. And although I have a bunch of altcoins, so it all works out well for me, my Bitcoin trade didn't work out well. And it was kind of contrarian because I know I can go back through this live stream now and watch through all of the indicators as I was trying to set up a bull case, and things like the Ichimoku cloud just weren't playing along. They were not giving me a bull case like I've seen in other times. We could see that in some of the indicators it was bullish, some of it was bearish, it was indecisive. And because I was looking for bullish as I was reading those plans, I was ignoring the bearish signals and focusing on trying to read them for bullish. And immediately afterwards, spanking. So now I can go back and learn from those things. I can go and see exactly what were the bearish things. I can rewatch that video, make some highlights on it and say, this is where I was wrong. This is where I was wrong. This moment is where I was wrong. One of the moments, and I love this indicator, is the 4-hour MACD indicator. And I said it in the live stream earlier that this would be the defining moment, this 4-hour exponential moving average, 4-hour crossover for the MACD. If I go into the 1-hour time frame now, we had cross to the negative and a cross to the negative. So this was bearish as we had a double top. Hello, I didn't see that or say it last time. That's huge. Now, do I go back? What is this? The 1-hour time frame. This particular chart, but the RSI takes a long time to load up. The 1-hour time frame of the RSI. Clear this off, give me a line, because in the MACD we could see a divergence, but nothing really stands out here on the RSI as a big divergence. What about the 4-hour time frame again? Yeah, nothing really. It was mostly the trend lines in this that were important, and having that trend line break and being there to anticipate short and make money from short if it breaks would have been a good idea, to be flat and ready to go either side. But again, this have so many hammer reversals. This seems like the next place for the hammer reversal. Seems like the place for, if you go into the my conspiracy theories, this seems like the perfect place to be pushing things down to the bearish view before you drive it through the moon. This way you can get the most Bitcoin out of the hands of everybody that you can. In that they're all going to be jumping on these short positions like crazy, big time leverage jumping onto these things. Stops put too close to the market, and it's just a ripe situation to put in a few millions and push it down, get the whole market to jump on there, and then put your billions in to drive it up. And you'll make another $500 million just off of this manipulation here, pushing things down, getting everybody to jump on this side of the ship, and then you just hammer it from the other side and up you go. This is the place to get the volume, the billions of volume, the tens of millions of volume that are beyond my ability to think even. But you know it's there. Those trillions are going on. Let me jump back to the live chat now. I've been rambling on about this, sort of to my future self, because I really want to come back and study this. Sort of to my earlier self today to correct what I was watching and how I was watching it. So I'm going to scroll back a bit here. Holland, Poland, Japan. Good to see you in Japan. Jay Constant from Grun. I'm going to check that out. Tor, high five for shorting. Big high five. Keep close. Stop. I don't know what's going on. North part of Holland. Beautiful area. Alts look the same as BTC when BTC was around 3.5K. Yeah, the alts have taken a real beating, that's for sure. So, Marcos, good to have you along. Sold my BTC at 10,250 and 350, hoping it'll go below 10K. Yeah, it's only a $130 drop. I know. This is the trouble with trading the 1 minute bars. That's the trouble with doing daily videos, is that you zoom in on, what happened since yesterday. But really, my trading plan is based on mostly, and again, short commercial plug, head over to the website, put your email address in, and get this trading plan so that you're up to date, you're up to speed on what I'm talking about here. I like you to be educated, and then we can go bring it up to another level. Which chart was I on? I'll just stay on one. From here, if I zoom out to the 3-month view, we're looking for the 12-hour exponential moving average crossover. And so there was a buy signal here as this was breaking out, and then it immediately failed and kicked out to a sell signal. Nothing to do the whole time, just talk, watch. There was a buy signal on the 4-hour exponential moving average crossover here, but the 12-hour didn't give any signal until a little later. And we can see that the 12-hour gave the buy signal, and then that's it. There's a whole bunch of watching, and there's a whole bunch of nothing to do, which is the hardest part of trading, is to sit and watch and do nothing, especially as it's pulling back, especially as it does a spike, and especially as it's pulling back, and just do nothing. Just sit here, do nothing. Oh, the 12-hour exponential moving average crossed over. Take off part of the trade, put on part of the trade, take off part of the trade, waiting to see which direction it goes. It never said put on part of that trade. And we didn't have to zoom in. We didn't have to spend more than 5 minutes a day looking at the chart with this trading plan. The rest of the time, go off and do something else. Bitcoin is working for you. You should be doing other work for yourself, not sitting at the charts, watching it all that close for this trading plan. But then, of course, there are trading plans for this short range. If you were to do this 10 times leverage short, you made a nice profit over this little range. And there's a good swath of selling going on here. This is not just a bunch of selling and then it's turned into buying in these last 30 minutes. Let's go on to the 4 charts again, because it's not really making the alts blast off yet. The alts are just hanging here. What does our MACD indicator give us? Now I've got to open up another chart so that we can get the Ichimoku cloud going. Here, this is pulled back, and it's the histogram immediately changed directions, pretty much. We got a big swath here, but then the histogram has been changing directions every 5 minutes. It's been going the other direction. So until this candles down further and this widens up again, this is actually pretty good. It's holding its own right there. I'm kind of stretching for it when you're looking for that on the 5-minute charts, because this can be whipped around so much. Let's open up another chart and do the Ichimoku cloud to see where this is saying. So I'll download my Ichimoku cloud. So Ichi on the 1 hour time frame says this is a sell signal. Ichi on the 4 hour time frame is aiming up to be a sell signal. And you know, I was looking at this in the last live stream, trying to look for the bullish signals, but the blue line hadn't. Here, the blue line now has just crossed below the red line, which is a negative signal. We haven't crossed red, haven't gone below the cloud yet. Let's go to the 12 hour time frame. Still not definitive. It's still inside the cloud. But the blue line is below the red line, and that's negative. We still have a positive cloud here. No, nothing doing. On the daily time frame, this has been negative all the way through the last long time I've been doing this stream. And I've been circling this every day to say, look at the, this is negative cloud. It's below the cloud. We have the twist to the negative here. The trailing indicator is chopping through. If that trailing indicator drops and we have this cloud go skinny, we are sailing down. And now that we've hit these levels, I'm really watching this cloud. It's thick. You know, if it should go skinny, it should go skinny. Actually, it broke lower, and then this went skinny. Then this came down. We'll have to see how this plays out. What goes on with this cloud here? Let me zoom in. Of course, on the... Oh, we are sailing down right now further. Let's zoom in. A little dip here. Different charts show different things. And the alts are quickly responding into any little dip in Bitcoin. So Litecoin is the pick of the day. High five to Trader Rituto from Italy for calling this one and sharing it on our Discord chat. So then if you are looking through these indicators, you've got to make up your own mind. Certainly you don't want to follow what somebody else is doing, because then if I'm telling you when to swing the bat, I'm always going to be late telling you which way to swing for you. I don't know what, you know, I can be a good batting coach, but when it comes down to swinging the bat, you got to make those decisions. And this one, since we have differing views, you can look at the charts and make up your own decision. I like to hear the shorts that are going on here. So almost every YouTuber thinks it's going up. You can bet it's going down. Now everybody's going to FOMO and go short on this and hammer it down. All those people who thought that it was long, they all have to close their position and sell. Pretty crazy. Let's go. Dear old Trumpy. Trump just tweeted BTC will be banned in the USA. Just like e-cigarettes. Wow. That is the land of the free. Yeah, he says nothing about Tether. Hello, Asselman. Asselsman, good to have you along. Rick Ty, I suppose that in such charts and patterns don't mean much. No, news actually has a huge impact. And if Trump is saying that Bitcoin is going to be, let me go, Trump, Bitcoin, tweet, July 15th. Let me go to past 24 hours. 8 hours ago, he did some stuff. 47 minutes ago. No, that's his latest tweets. 7 hours ago. Bitcoin payment processing, Bitcoin block payments. Nothing like I don't know. Let me go to his actual Twitter stream. 41 minutes ago, 52 minutes ago, so that this was, yeah, an hour ago. What else? On top of all that, the oil hit, big interest rate drop, stimulus. Oh my God, he's going to do some crazy. Trump is getting ready to buy some Bitcoin. You know, it is crazy. If you look at gold and how much it's gone up and down in price, it's like dollar wise, it's not that much. Okay, I don't see anything new in Trump's Bitcoin comments here. So nothing an hour ago anyway that jumps out and makes me think he's said something that's crashing or saying that's going to be banned. If you've got a link to share on that, that would be awesome. But you're right, these chart patterns don't mean much. Actually, at these times, your risk control rules mean the most, because this is a great example of trading your risk control rules properly. Because if most people would get wrecked in the market here today if you didn't use your risk control rules properly. And the reason you have those is because there's just no way to know what is actually coming in these markets. You don't know if it is going to be this way, that way, or if the news is going to come out that's going to just absolutely make the markets change directions. There's too many unknowns. And so you can do all your best with your entry levels, do all your best with planning out your trades and getting everything prepared. But then as soon as you execute, it's the risk control rules, risk control rules, risk control rules for the first 3 stages of the trade. And we talk about in that, if you're new to the stream, we talk about that in the webinar that you can get on the website. The 3 stages, the first 3 stages of the trade are preparing for the risk. The first stage is all the planning. The second stage is actually executing and being there to only hold a trade if it proves you correct and let go of trades that don't prove you correct. And then stage 3 of the trade is putting your stop loss just above your profitable trade so that you're protecting yourself even then against those kind of crazy things that can just turn the market around on a dime. It's only after you've gone through those first 3 stages of risk control, then you get to consider that the trade is proven you correct and valid. And since it has, then you can increase your risk on that. But until then, it's all risk control, risk control. So we see Bitcoin is pulling back, Ethereum is pulling back, Litecoin looks like it's staging to blast another range up, and so does Ripple, the way it's gathering here. But it seems Ethereum has lost a bit of steam compared to Bitcoin. The Ethereum versus US dollar must have been phenomenal. My risk control is neither buy nor sell. That is risk control. But there's times to put on a measured risk on a very small scale and to add on to that risk when you're correct. That's what this all is about, is trying to find the way that the market's going and then to add on to it when you are correct. So right now, my Bitcoin trade of going long on this was not correct. I had to close it, took the loss, did not get to add on to it. Now I'm sitting and I'm not sure if I should be jumping into something else right now as this is doing its pullback. This will take a second for my computer to bring this up. Not looking good for adding on to doing anything here. But my thing is, and I don't want to quite go short on that yet because I missed the timing. I was long, I closed my thing. I don't want to FOMO after it now. I'll wait for it to do some other consolidation that I can take a position on, but not while it's moving fast here. I certainly don't want to do a market entry. Faking out everyone. I've been there before. I think it's a fake out. It's a fake. It's a fake out. It's a fake. Oh my God, that's expensive. Oh my God, I lost a lot of money because I should have just immediately used my risk control rules and only hold it if it proves me correct. And every time I've done this, I've lost money and lost wads of it just going, oh shit. You look back and you just shake your own head. Where is my, there it is. Part of the reason for doing these live streams, because I did the live stream here this morning, and as I was going through it, I was looking for the bull move. I was looking through all these indicators, trying to sort them to show me the bullish indications. And like 10 minutes after I finished the stream, half an hour, down she started to come. And all of the indicators, when I go back and look at it, I wasn't looking at the bearish indications as much as I was looking at the bullish indications. My bias. I was really thinking that we are on a longer term move up and that everything is catching a bottom here and some real momentum. I'm going to look into, let me write this down so I don't forget. I say it every time. I need a keyboard shortcut. For the mute button, so that I can clear my throat quickly. So I was thinking that this was going to go up. I thought this was really staging to go, and there was all sorts of reasons I was pulling out as to why I thought it was going up. But that 1, 2, 3 top formation break sort of throws my theory out the window. Then I want to compare, because on July 10th, I did a video just before and just after this break, as it happened. Just before and after this break, I did videos. And I know I did videos right just before this break as well. And each of these times, especially this one, not so much these ones. I was short here. I was doing top formations here. I was hunting for tops as this was coming up. But this one, I was definitely looking for long. I was all faked out by this bullish volume coming in. This was looking really good. The exponential moving averages were coming up so close to crossing over. It was maddening. Draw this all the way back. And yet we can see the 4-hour exponential moving average, the 4-hour exponential moving average crossover, the break of this parallel trend line. We do have a tiny little 1, 2, 3 top formation here, but when that broke, this was the get out signal. We had all sorts of are these hammer reversal wicks? Are those people doing huge dumps because they already know that they're shifting out of the market? Then this buying volume that looked so good here really turned into a stream of selling volume. So let me now go back to the present time and look back at the 4-hour charts. It doesn't look quite the same. We don't have the exponential moving average crossover yet. That's got to be close. And we do have a different buying pattern that's in here on these edges. It is a different buying pattern all the way along here. As this is descending, we've got a lot of change of direction buying going on. Yes, Andrew, sometimes there are times you should definitely do the opposite of what I'm saying. Absolutely. And here's clear evidence why you should join our Discord community, because it's not just my opinion in that community. I'm going over this trading plan, and as I'm going over it this time, I was superficially looking at the potential for the 1, 2, 3 top. And I think in one episode I said, you'll notice I never said anything about the bearish view because fail. There's the 1, 2, 3 top, clear as can be. Inside this 1, 2, 3, 2, now we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom. Nothing is really determined either way here yet. And by zooming into these close time frames, we get ourselves chewed up. I consider a lot of the times I am being whale food. I've got a position size that is so big that I can't handle this kind of little bit of a range of move. That's my first error. My position size should be small enough that I'm allowing for this size of range of move to go on inside my trade before I'm, kicked out of it. This should be small trade. And not until it gets above these levels should you be adding on anything to that trade, because then it's proven you correct. Now you can add on to the risk. Then it's proven you correct. Now you can add on to the risk. But inside here, micro position, micro chart pattern is all you can fit together. You can't put on a macro position on a micro chart pattern, because they just, you get killed. You're whale food. We'll see how this plays out. Investors are buying your cheap Bitcoin before we pump it. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. And I'm super excited to go through and see what was happening in these indicators as this unfolded, because this is not bullish. These two big swaths of selling here at the very tip. So if it is manipulation, this is way on a scale that's outside of my ability to plan for. And so my risk control rules are it. I have to assume that I am wrong when I put on a trade. Do it small, because if I'm assuming that I'm wrong, I'm not going to put on my whole trade. I'm not going to bet my whole account unless I'm risking it and I'm just being, gambling. That's crazy. And sometimes I've done that. Recently I did that. I put on a trade that didn't go well and I had to get out of it. I had to take the loss. So risk control rules are the main thing. Never mind your opinion. Never mind the chart patterns. That once you've put on a trade, it's all risk control rules. Nobody knows what's coming up next. But I do have that conspiracy theory that this is a bear trap, and I'll only be proven right if it actually turns out, and I'll be proven wrong again, and my risk control rules saved me against my own opinion if this continues to go down. Now, had I been reading those charts differently earlier in the day, and I would have been set myself as a short signal, I'd be patting myself on the back for expertly reading the charts. But I'd still have my risk control rules ready, and I'd still have my position sizes based on protecting myself against being wrong, because so often you plan it all out, everything looks great, you actually think you're correct. You put on the trade because you're correct, and then you hold it because, no, I think this is just some other thing, it's just whatever I'm rationalizing. I think I'm still correct. But those risk control rules save your butt. Keeps you small so that it's easier to take those losses and get out. And then when it does prove you correct, you can hit those nitro buttons and really hammer it. Now, the problem is now that everyone is thinking this, it is a double trap, and only your risk control rules keep your butt safe, because especially with social media and thousands of people in these trading groups, what's that one Telegram group? It's got 250,000 people in it. They're getting 6,000 to 10,000 people reading their messages within a minute. And probably 1% or 10% of those people are actually sitting there ready to trade on those signals. That the signal comes out, buy XYZ coin because it's going to release a new upgrade to their blockchain interoperability. Boom, everybody's jumping in on that. It does this big spike up and then it pulls back down because it's just based on that excitement of the moment. And people are overbuying the order book. Everybody's FOMOing in with a market order, which is driving the price up faster than the market can fill it. So your risk control rules are your savior. And this is, I'm just standing aside on this, watching to see what's going to set up. But most interested in watching these alts. I'm still feeling a top formation in these alts. Let me go back to a 4 hour, and why I think it's a top formation. First of all, we haven't finished out a deep enough 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is actually deep enough. This is deep enough. This one isn't really. That we're coming up to the support and resistance here makes me feel that it should come back to here. to build a bigger bottom that has the power to keep up and going. Litecoin has done enough of a pullback. It's done a pretty good deal here where it's pulled back, up, back again. And so a break above these levels has the momentum, but we're still pushing up against support and resistance. So that it's come back and touch this, come back again would be huge. Ripple, much the same thing in that it has a big swath of support and resistance to cut through right now. So for me, it just makes sense that the alts are going to bounce off this and pull back. Bitcoin's going to do a run up. And okay, now we got to go back. I just remembered March of 2017. March of 2017 was a particularly important for us. If I go into the weekly view, I want to see where is the exponential moving average. And March of 2016, 2016, 2016, 2017, right here. This is where I think we are in the charts now. I think we are right here. That we are going to break up, go higher. And that alts are going to get mega crushed right here. Just through this period. Then we're going to have that blow off top. Bitcoin's going to hit 11,800 and it's going to pull all the way back to the $10,000, $9,000 range. At that point, the alts are going to switch and the Bitcoin dominance will start to fall massively. The alts will do a rise as Bitcoin is going up. So Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $3,000 during this period. Altcoins went up 3,000% or some crazy thing against Bitcoin prices. And then we had the big downtrend that went on for 18 months in Bitcoin and a year and a half in altcoins. And I remember before the March run in 2017, I was holding altcoins all the way through this period. So Bitcoin was going up, and every time it did this, I thought this is a top formation. Alts are going to blast. Then Bitcoin would take off, and all of my alts would go down. And I wouldn't let go of my altcoin bags. I was like the monkey trap. Put my hand in into the coconut, and there's some rice in there. I grab a hold of the rice, but now I can't pull my hand out of the hole that the hunter has set up for me. And I won't let go of the rice because I want that rice, but I won't reevaluate the value of the rice compared to my freedom. I won't open my hand so I can pull my hand out the coconut to gain my freedom. I want that rice. And I did the same thing. I was holding on to my altcoins all the way through this as it went up. Every time Bitcoin did this, I rationalized that I should be holding my alts because this is making a top formation. It's going to come down. I'm going to hold my alts, and down they went again. And it wasn't until this big reversal that the alts made a proper 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the 12-hour time frame. Everything else was little bottoms on the 4-hour time frame, little bottoms in the 4-hour time frame. Everybody's getting excited, getting crushed and killed. And it wasn't until that proper bottom that things really took off. So I could be wrong. This is what I'm waiting for, is Bitcoin to make that run up and then to do this reversal. And at that time, alts are going to go up with Bitcoin. So that's why I'm kind of expecting that right now, Bitcoin is doing a fake down to get everybody to go short, put their stops in way too close to the market, way too large of positions, and now they'll hammer it way up, and they are going to clean up millions and millions of dollars from having sloshed the boat over to one side and then run off to the other side. You see that fake out play in football all the time, right? Where the tackler's coming in to get the guy with the ball, he fakes to one side and then runs to the other. We'll see how this plays out. Because if I'm wrong, there's some clear areas that shows me that I'm wrong, that Bitcoin is going to be breaking lower. I'm wrong. If this continues to break higher, I'm wrong. And that's okay. I expect to be wrong. In fact, trading is where you should be comfortable being wrong. It is not a mistake to be wrong. You are always going to be wrong. So have a plan to deal with being wrong, and all is good. Make up your opinions, try it out. Because when you're right, then you can lay the pressure on and away you go. Put your stops off below your coins and happy days. Because it happened in 2007, you can tell it will happen now? No, I'm not telling you it will happen now, but I'm telling you these are some of the things that I plan for, that if I see it correlating, then I know when to hit my nitro button. And I'm assuming that you have your own plan, or you are practicing this plan. You downloaded it from the website and you're going through it and you're looking at 1, 2, 3 bottom formations in all sorts of different markets. And so we're not just looking, I'm not going to change Bitcoin, and I don't want to change any of these. I want to watch these. But I also wanted to bring up gold and silver and show you the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations setting up in there. They are all over the place. And if they're so obvious and everybody knows about them and they've actually been traded for more than 100 years, why is it that people aren't just naturally trading this pattern? Why aren't people, even people who know about the pattern, why are they not successfully trading it and making money out of it? These are really important questions. Part of that is coming up in my next upcoming book on Amazon. You can go and get 2 different books now on Amazon. One is the Ultimate BitMEX Tutorial for 99 cents. This is a companion to the videos that I'm doing on trading on BitMEX in all the details. And there is a new companion book for the webinar that you get for free on the website. You can get that whole thing in a written version with some extras and bonuses in there, and it is $10. But you can go and get that presentation for free. You can get the video replay of the webinar by putting your email address in on the website. Then you will know about the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. You will be educated. And when I start talking about what makes people fail and not be successful at trading this plan, you'll be able to make your own inferences in your own trading, just as I try to do in my own trading. And we'll watch how this unfolds. But I'm still believing in the conspiracy theory. This is not using my risk control rules. That's my own personal opinion. My risk control rules kicked me out of the trade, even though my opinion is, oh, you should hold it. It's just a little thing. It's only going to come down. It's going to bounce right back up, you know. My risk control rules said, you're wrong. Get out. All right. I guess that runs it here for doing a good review of all of the indicators. I can pull out little highlights of that to show what was the indicator doing, what was I expecting, and then what actually happened. And it's the MACD that's my favorite. This is crossed positive. Our histogram is pushed up into the positive area here in the 5-minute time frame. So I'm trying to read it for bullish again here. Let me go back and say that should this cross to the negative again, that would be very bad. No, it would mean the prices are going down further. But look at how extreme this is. The only time it's been this extreme is when it was a hammer reversal that came back up in this 5-minute view. So let's do this again. Here in the 15-minute view, look how extreme this is. It can be more extreme. It can go down more yet. So this isn't as bad as the 5-minute. On the 15-minute, how about the 1 hour? It has crossed to the negative, 3 crosses to the negative. I was commenting on this earlier saying that this is good, but that's not as good because it's come back a little bit. Here we have the divergence that I didn't catch before, and now we've flared negative. This has to shorten up and pick up if this is going up the other way. Has to. If it continues to flare and stays growing wider and the histogram stays pretty much even negative, sort of like this but downward, then that tells us the direction. We can see if we have a similar pattern like this, it's got to change directions right here. And the 5-minute and the 15-minute kind of indicate that it may. But this is the big one from earlier this morning. I caught this. I said, look at this crossover. And then I pulled it back and I said, oh yeah, but don't worry, because in the 4-hour time frame, we should expect to see oscillations as the price is going up. So an oscillation in the 4-hour isn't necessarily bad. Still not. Now in the 12-hour time frame, this crossed negative. That was the first time now that I've seen it in the negative state, as we've been really watching for this the last little bit. That crossed negative is important. If it continues to flare negative, this price will continue keep going down. And that'll really change the direction of everything as this continues to go. How about the daily? Not quite crossed positive yet or negative yet. So this gives me at least a shred of hope. But from the 12-hour and the 4-hour and the 1-hour, we're not looking too good. The 15-minute and the 5-minute, we're looking better. And the daily is holding out as well. But really stretching for signs here. This is negative. Overall, not looking good. This really changed the tone of things to break down below these levels. Now we'll watch. I'll update later. I'll probably tweet something out. Let's do a 1-day view. Let me circle this and tweet this out. Simple, just a sort of a marker of what's going on here today. Important indicator. And tweet that out. Phenomenal. I wasn't expecting to do this live stream. I was preparing to do the altcoin live stream, but I wanted to go on as soon as I saw this breaking. I wanted to record all of these indicators because I had just finished doing a live stream earlier, recording those indicators. Now I've got homework to do. Go back and watch that first one, make some notes on it, prepare that for the next live stream that I'm doing as a quick one rather than just an ongoing long one like this. Boom, boom, boom. Let me now sign off from here. I will watch this. I'll tweet things out as it's happening. But now I really am super excited to get into just my favorites here on Binance and go through the 6 big markets that trade on BitMEX. I really want to go through these indicators now and get an idea. Look at this on the 12-hour time frame as that crossed positive. That'll be over on the other live stream as we are going through the BitMEX markets on a daily basis. And I am trading them on a testnet.bitmex account, which actually got hammered the other day. But I'll talk about that in the other stream. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you being here. If there's anything that you're interested in, always put it in the live chat. Put it in the comments down below. Come and join us on Discord. Ask your questions. I'm really wanting you guys to follow along with the very same trading plan I have. Ask me about it. Call me on it. Like, bring it up. Say, how come you say in your trading plan this, but this is what you're doing here? I love explaining those things. Anyway, I'll let you go and we'll see you on the next live stream. Thanks again and bye for now.